not
Here.
going to be here unless, and if we needed him, call, but we've got a quorum, so he's in a cab somewhere, in a combine somewhere around here. So I think we'll just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 3 o'clock, and we have an amendment to, for the agenda to, so, do you have that one, Dan?
Yeah, motion to agenda to number 2, under new business, special meeting on Tuesday.
I'll second that.
Okay, so that's a change in the agenda to remove that. And then we'll go to the approval of the agenda as it is. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as it is now?
Make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Okay. Then we'll go on to approval of the minutes of September 13th and also for October 4th.
I'll approve that.
Probably we should do them one at a time, so I'll do the September 13th ones first.
Right.
Okay. And you have a motion for that? Okay. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that for September 13th.
Is there any other discussion? Then we'll vote to approve, yes. I'll just go approval, yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Staying will go for no. All right, then motion carries to approve the September 13th minutes. Then we'll go to the October 4th special meeting minutes. Do you have a motion for?
I'll make the motion to
approve
accept October 4th.
All right. Second, all right. Any discussion?
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got a second and a second. Okay, we got it. If there's no discussion, then we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's the same for disapproval. The motion is carried. Okay. Then we'll go to the approval of the claims. And we have some discussion on anything that we'd like to ask about.
Your saw, that quick cut one there, is that gas powered?
Yeah. One of the steel.
Yep. Very handy tool.
So how many trees did Great Green World, was that part of that grant? How many?
16.
16 mills of families.
Yeah, so we'll end up being reimbursed about half of that cost.
Any other questions about any of the costs or any on here? Oh, I had to know about the triple was the cabins in the shower houses today, like. What was
That's
that?
septic
Septic,
tank
sorry.
pumping. Yep.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Do I have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Then we go into old business and mill park projects.
Yeah, just because we've had a lot going on, I wanted to bring this out. Specifically, we talked about it a month ago, about the things that we were going to do, and we've done a few of them. So we poured a new patio in front of the snack shack. We had, Tom helped with that, Lindsay came over and helped with that. It was quite an experience, and we got it done, so it looks great, yeah. And we got a couple of tables on order, that are already donated tables that will be installed there as well. We've begun the rental shack renovation, we're almost done with the roof, and we'll start the other parts of that project here pretty soon. And that was part of a grant from the Community Foundation as well. You can see we did end up planting grass and everything out there on the lawn, so it's coming in pretty nicely.
I'm surprised coming in as good as it is.
Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time and put a lot of seed and some fertilizer out there and trying to water as much as we could. Some timely rains really helped with that. So, and then we did plant 16 new trees from the DNR Community Forest Grant. We had the FFA from South Bryan come out and help with that, and there was actually another whole class from South Bryan came out. So we got all those planted, mulched and staked and everything, and watering those. So these were really tall, a little bit larger trees, and so hopefully they take off here over the next couple of years. But other than that, yeah, those are kind of updates on that, on the Mill Creek projects that we've been discussing. I guess on that, there's no change on the sewer project at this time. We're still waiting for the ARPA grant discussion. So haven't heard anything. We put our project in, but we're still waiting on when the next meeting is to discuss it. So.
You don't have any timeline for that?
Soon. Yeah.
Okay. And you want to go into the update on the Dalma Park?
Yep. So I did just send you all an email today as well with a draft agreement that's been was drafted originally by our county attorney, was revised by their attorney, and so now our county attorney is going to offer her opinion on it. But in the meantime, we have staked the corners, done the survey work, and so we're going back and forth on a few things yet, so there's nothing final to bring before you at this point. But I keep saying it's going to be the next meeting, but hopefully it'll be done by the next meeting. So.
Okay. And we're going on to the new business. We're going to appoint our O'Brien County Conservation Director. And do I have a motion to approve the hiring of Mark Wilson as our County Conservation Director?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion from
I'll
Dan.
second.
We have a second from Dan. Is there any discussion? Okay, then, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Welcome. Official.
Yeah, sorry, just amend your motion to include the salary and the effective date.
Oh,
That was
okay.
discussed.
Thank you. So we will now amend the motion for the salary amount
It's in
and
the notes section.
the effective date, which is over here. Okay. So, Dan, do you want to amend the motion, to make a motion?
Yeah.
To offer it at the salary and the effective date? It's on your notes right there. Is it on yours? It's right here.
The amended one?
Yeah, no, you're going to,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Because we didn't put it in the motion.
October 1st, okay.
Okay, and the amount?
67.
Okay, so the motion has been made to amend the motion that we offer the position at $67,000 effective October 1st, 2023. Yeah, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So now we have that motion. Do we need to amend?
Yeah.
Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay, Craig will second that motion amendment. All right, any further discussion? Do we have it correct now? Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Now is that correct? So now, our next one is We'll have removed number 2 from the agenda, and we are going to number 3, which is approving the hiring of a posting of for a park ranger. And if you will notice on your job description that we have here, that the format, the information is the same, the format in the left top corner is what we ask that all the job descriptions now contain. And it was in the former description, but it's now up on the top as well, so that it's clearly stated as such. And also, the qualifications were also, what was that one that was? No.
Yep. So before it was just kind of meet past the eligibility requirements to go through ILEA, and I just looked at the position description that you guys just approved for me, and written most of those out, and just so it's stated plainly what those requirements are. Those were the 2 biggest changes to that. So talking about everything that's in the code to become a certified peace officer is just spelled out in the position description.
And we thought that was maybe a better way to post it, so that it's spelled out correctly what's expected in terms of, it's assumed to a certain degree, but this one it's spelled out. And also at the top, as I said again, the format that we're going to be using on job descriptions, so that it's clearly stated also what is expected. And at a glance, you can see exactly what that job description is all about. So the only difference between what we had formerly seen was the top and the last part of it, which stated more clearly the expectations of law enforcement. So do I have a motion to approve the posting for a park ranger?
And then you can include the salary range that we discussed as well.
So, one motion.
If the candidate doesn't have military experience, at 16 weeks, or is it still 8?
The academy is 16 weeks.
Without military?
I don't think that matters.
It does. We just sent a guy from the city, and he didn't have military, he had to do the full blown. If he wouldn't have had military, he wouldn't have had to. That's what they found out anyway.
Interesting.
I do know if they have a degree in
Law enforcement.
law enforcement, they go to a short course in Sioux City, which would be shorter. I don't know if that.
So if you're in a motion, Brian, does that make any difference or not? Does that change?
I can only speak to my experience where there's quite a few people in the full basic that had prior military that were there for the full 16 weeks. So I guess I can't speak to that.
We speak to military experience. So any thoughts?
Need a motion to accept this now?
Yes. Or you can discuss it further as to what you want to do. Dan, you have some thoughts? Greg, do you have any thoughts on it?
I guess we can either do it now or do it later when we get it hired.
What do you mean the hire?
Well, whoever we choose to go to the academy or whatever.
Oh,
We're seeking approval to actually post this position and hire this individual.
Oh, has it? Okay.
Yeah.
After the years?
Yeah. Well, I'll make the motion, we post it as it's written.
is there a
I was
second?
looking a little deeper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Then I'll second it.
okay,
Yeah.
then a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Okay, then we'll go to approving the contract for the cleaning of the Prairie Hair Concern. And I have that in front of you also. And,
Yeah, so previous people that are contracted with cleaning put in their 2 weeks notice a few weeks ago. So the cleaning agreement in front of you is what they had, so it's open to discussion if this is what we want to continue to offer. So, you know, the $450 per month. In general, to fill all the needs that they're contracted for, it takes roughly 20 to 25 hours a month, 5 hours a week-ish at minimum generally. So if we were to post this agreement and search, and basically we'd be requesting people to be independent contractors. And we would pay them $450 a month. Or we can amend it and change it to where we are accepting bids to fulfill these needs, and then they kind of set their price. So you know what I mean?
so are there those types of companies that are out there in the area that you know of, that you have heard of? Have you guys heard of any?
I feel like we would have a hard time. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know if there's.
I don't think you're gonna get much for $450 a month.
Not for, I mean, maybe an individual or two,
Yeah.
potentially. And I don't know if there's other people that would be interested or not, to be honest, so. We can post it as is for a month and see if we get anybody and then change it, or, or open it up to send us your bid or your quote on what you would be requesting to do these things, to do this cleaning.
Well, and I was just wondering too, is this sufficient, the list that you had? Did you feel that was sufficient to do the job?
It was sufficient previously, I guess.
Perhaps, I mean, that's the
So,
way it's been for a while.
um,
But I'm thinking it's like, is there anything that you would add or just take away, or basically it's a basic cleaning contract?
I know a couple house cleaners in town that may be interested. I could show them this and have them talk to you.
Yeah.
See where we're at.
Yeah.
So then we will need a motion to post this, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to post it for $450 a month and see what we come up with.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's that?
And do I have a second for that?
I'll second it.
And I have a second. Is there any further discussion on that? Okay. Then all in favor say aye. Opposed, the same. Okay, then we will post as is and see what happens and go from there. Then next we have a quarterly report. And would you like to expand on that?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I don't have to read it word for word, but I mean, it kind of details all the different education programs that we've been doing, all the different projects and maintenance tasks we've been doing as well throughout the parks and the different events that we've done. point you to the revenue piece, you know, for this last quarter, which would be just July through the end of September, $103,000, which is basically right in line with what we've been doing previously. So I think we've done, yeah, I mean,
Byway signs, finding that out right there.
the glacial byway signs are up. Yeah, I mean, it's all things that we've already kind of discussed previously, and just a nice annual or quarterly report of what those were. So, and there'll be a full annual report for the last fiscal year due in January.
Do I have a motion to approve the quarterly report?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Okay, now we're on to informational items and correspondence.
Yeah, so I'm going to my annual training starting tomorrow morning for a couple days. So I'll be out, available, but out of town until Thursday. And then Sarah's going to the e-commerce summit we talked about previously. That's all about the My County Parks website, online registrations, things like that. Make sure we're up to speed with that. That's next week. And then we have a youth pheasant hunt. We're sponsored with the Bryan County Sportsman's and a few other local businesses that are supporting it. We're still looking for 12 to 15-year-olds. So it's kind of a small thing, but you have to, certain things you have to be able to do. So that's on October 21st out at Crosby. So we'll be treating it kind of just as a normal hunt, sponsored guided hunt for each individual that shows up. We also will have, we'll place a few birds out there, but I think this year we'll maybe find some wild birds as well. So
At Cosby?
right out there at Crosby.
You said that's the 21st?
21st, opening, youth opening.
So how do you go about finding kids? Do you put it in school or do you announce it around?
We've been posting it, there's flyers up around separate local businesses.
On Facebook.
Yeah, and Sportsman's Club's been promoting it through word of mouth as well as their social media. So
Do they have to pre-register now?
we are asking, because we don't want more than 20. We can take up to 20.
So what's the deadline for registering?
Friday.
20th. 20th.
The 20th.
Day before.
We'll be prepared for up to 20. Yeah.
And so how many have you had in the past?
I wasn't there last year.
We had 8 last
So
year.
there's 8, and the year before was like my end of my first week working here. I think there was a dozen-ish. So,
COVID was on there.
yeah.
Okay, on to staff board reports.
Sure. Nature Center and Naturals reports.
Yeah, so we finished up our field trip season in September. Had a lot of canoeing, kayaking, just different hikes and monarch tagging, stuff like that. And then last week was my first week of doing the pod programming. So I've kind of broken down the numbers, and that looks about like 20-ish new programs every month with about 12 to 15 program days. So I'm kind of going in and out of the schools, and yeah, just getting around, and it'll be good. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's been really busy so far, but yeah, kind of booked the front end to do a lot of the programming, and then the second half of the month will be more like planning and prep and like different programs that pop up.
So have you found it effective that, you were talking about when you're going to a school that you're doing, not just, back and forth, but you're doing more than one program at a school at a time?
Yeah, that's been really nice. It saved a lot of like drive time too, because I just go to one school, like especially elementary schools, I can hit a bunch of different grades at the same day, and then just kind of move around the school like that. For your middle school programs, it's like I'll go in a 5th and 6th grade classroom and go, like they have like 4-ish sessions a day, so I'll do programs for that, and then like 7th and 8th, I'll do the same thing. So it's just kind of, elementary days I can hit a lot of different grades, And then middle school is more like an all day, and the school like twice a month.
So it's effective. Sounds good, yeah, because I bet you use your time as well.
Yeah.
With gas as well.
Yeah, it works out nice. Just tell the teachers like, hey, I'm gonna be in your school during this day. Like if you have a program that you want, like let me know. I can kind of add something in or, yeah, then it gives them a day so it's less like just random sporadic events.
Yeah, it sounds good.
We also had the Fall Fun Fest, and I had a wedding, so I actually wasn't able to be here, but.
Yes, so Lindsay, Kathy, and I ran out at the campground. I had one of the campers say that they counted roughly around 150 kids come through, so that was a good thing. We did get a winner for 2 free nights of camping, so I contacted that individual and they'll get their certificate sent to them in the mail for that. Very positive. I thought we'll definitely have more campers do that next year.
Yeah, but I noticed too that people were asking about where do we vote, and they were diligent about wanting to vote, for whichever camper. I suppose, the only thing there was a little bit confusion about which camper was which. It seemed to work, people were happy, and kids were happy, and parents were a little fearful about that little messy part, but with their costumes other than that, they seemed to be having a good time, which is the whole idea of the event, so. Yeah. Okay.
And then some other activities and projects, I guess. I mean, our focus has been the stuff going on here at Mill Creek, but in the meantime, we've been doing range maintenance at least once a week with hunting season coming up. We've been doing a little bit more mowing. May or may not be done. Hopefully we're pretty close to done mowing. We had a Unity Christian High School group come out and they did a lot of work for us. They refreshed some paint on a bunch of things out here in the park, and we had bought a bunch of parking posts and replaced almost this whole front row along the beach. That was kind of our biggest need. And they pulled all the old ones by hand and stacked them. It was awesome. Yeah, so they did great. And the teachers were like, it felt like they really did a lot of work, and I'm like, they did do a lot of work. So they were really glad to have those types of projects, and we were really happy that those got done. So even our garbage cans got painted. So.
So something in the future that
It sounds like they'll be interested in coming back. Yeah, it's just a matter of having a good plan and all the materials and stuff in place, so that it's worth everybody's time. Yeah. But as long as we can do that, I think they'll keep coming back. Finally got around to pouring bench pads since we were doing some concrete work. So we had a bunch of donated benches across the county that needed pads underneath of them, so we got those in place. Just takes a lot of drive time, moving these pads around with the skid loader, putting them in place. We got those done, as well as the 4 scenic byway signs. So I think that is that's done. And this spring they're going to be launching a program that's going to, the tourism department or whatever is going to be doing a byway passport program, and the Heritage Center will be one of the stops where they can get stamped. We're just going to wait on collecting the actual passports to hand out to people. But that doesn't actually launch until this spring. But at least we have all of our signs in place. Starting on winterizing here shortly. Thankfully, it only touched freezing, so haven't had to shut any water off or anything yet. But we'll be watching the forecast closely, and by the end of the month, I'm sure we'll be looking at doing that. The park's officially closed on the 31st, so.
So they can still camp
Yep.
with water
Up until the 31st.
other than that.
You see, there's a few swans moving through.
Yeah. It's been had a lot of ducks in different places. Yeah, it's been. Can't think of anything too. Felt like we just met. So.
Okay. Any other questions that anybody has about activities or things that are going on? Okay. then I guess we are, I forgot about this, the conservation, that fall workshop, that's yours?
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about the state ones. Okay, then we are on to setting the November meeting date and the location of the board. And we have that special meeting that we are also doing next Tuesday morning. So the regular November meeting, is this here, this place?
Yeah, we can keep it.
Do you want to still meet here, or do you want to meet over back at the Heritage Center? Okay. So if we are here in November, that would be what?
Gotta go second Wednesday,
That's our regular time.
The 8th.
The 8th.
The 8th, yep.
Okay.
3 o'clock then?
3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Does that work for everybody? I'm thinking it's like, I'm paying attention to better or the winter, okay? So November 8th, 3 p.m. and Tuesday, October, what's the next Tuesday? 17th, okay. Tuesday, October 17th, 7:30 a.m. And the reason that we're doing that is because if people are still in combines and things, they ask for an early board meeting in the morning. So we are accommodating the farmers as much as we can. And thank you, Greg, for taking time out from your combine. You're telling me that. Make it. And Tom, that's where he is right now. So I'm thinking, is there any other comments, not from the public, that you have any comments or anything that you would like to make?
I want to say congratulations to Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it.
Yep.
Done a good job. And I was just wondering about the ranger position. Why are you posting it now when you're going into your slower season?
That'll give us time to recruit, find, and hire an individual. It's a timely process. I don't anticipate actually having a person employed until the new year.
Oh,
And then
okay.
that'll, or probably around that time. And then that'll give us the next few months to get them trained up and familiar with the organization and the staff, so that by the time we actually hit the busy season, we're just ready to go.
Good planning.
We didn't put a date on it. We just see what we get for applicants. Is that what we're gonna do?
We can discuss that as staff, but we might put a month deadline or something on this, just because sometimes if it's open until filled, there's no urgency to get applicants. We'll have to weigh the pros and cons of that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I'd like to keep it posted until we hire somebody, but we might put a deadline. Yeah.
That's what I would recommend, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other comments or questions or
What's the salary range for the ranger?
the ranger was
47 to 51?
47,000 to 51.
I think that's what it is.
51,500, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's like
51.
51.
That's the last five.
Is that depending on qualifications?
Qualifications and experience.
Any other questions? We're glad that you joined us. And do I have a meeting to adjourn? A motion to adjourn the meeting.
Is Greg now second that at the same time?
All right.